So here are the questions. The first one says, as you see on the screen, P is square root of 2 plus square root of 2, infinite nested surd, and Q is again infinite nested surd with 6. So this question, if it comes in, real CAT, and before knowing the theorem that I told you in the last video, you might be making the quadratic equation, trying to solve it and get the answer. But now you can do it in within 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds or 20 seconds at max, right? Because I just told you. So P here, 2, what is 2 exactly? 2 is 2 into 1 and 6 is 3 into 2. That simply means that the value of P is 2 and that of Q is 3 over. So P to the power Q, 2 cube. 2 to the power P, 3 square. 2 cube is 8, 3 square is 9. The answer is 17. Even when I'm telling you, it took me 20 seconds. So if I don't have to talk, if someone doesn't have to talk and just solve it, you can do it in 10 to 15 seconds. You know what? This even if people know this, they will take 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes at least. But now you will do it in 10 to 20 seconds. Let's discuss the next question, which can be a bit difficult. If square root of k plus square root of k and so on to infinity is equal to 7, then find the remainder when factorial k is divided by 43. Think about it. People who don't know the theorem, they will take the square of both the sides, here, then they will take 49 minus k square and do all that stuff. And this will probably take, if someone is really prepared, if someone is pro, they will take 1 minute, and normal people will take 2 minutes, and most of you will take 3 minutes. But here, just by looking at the value, you can get, just by looking at this expression, you get the value of k, isn't it? So you know already that k if k is n plus 1 multiplied by n, then this whole value will be equal to n plus 1, which is 7 in this case. So if 7 is n plus 1, guys, that means k is equal to 7 into 6, or I can say 42. That's all. So k is 42. You can do it just by looking at it, right? So remainder when factorial k is divided by 43, Wilson's theorem. So 43 is prime, and Wilson theorem says factorial p minus 1 when divided by p, where p is prime, you get p minus 1 as the remainder. So the answer is simple. Factorial 42 divided by 43, the answer is 42 only. That is 43 minus 1, right? So this is a mix of blend of number system and algebra. One more. A is equal to this, find this. So if A is equal to this, what exactly is 42? 42 is nothing but 7 into 6. A will be 7. I'm kind of enjoying it. So if you break this up, 13 can be broken down as minus 6 and minus 7 because the product is 42 into 1. So the roots are, so a minus 6 into a minus 7 is what I'm getting here. Wow. And if a itself is 7 and I put it here, so I get it, simply 0. That's it. 7 minus 6 into 7 minus 7. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0 only. I'm writing all of it, but there's no need to write. If you know this theorem, this question can be solved just in a few seconds. The last one and the most difficult one. It says if this whole square root of a infinite nested problem, and then we have this equal to infinite nested problem for b, and plus 1 is there. That is what makes all the difference. Where a and b are natural numbers, then which of the following can't be the value of a minus b? The options are 2, 3, 4, 6. No, they are not the options. The options are these: both A and B, only A, none of the above. So this, the question was already difficult, and the way of framing has made it more difficult, and his options have made it super difficult. Let's try to solve this question in 30 seconds. Okay, so this is what we already have. Now we know one thing for sure, and because A and B both are natural numbers as given in the question, what if I assume A is equal to, let's say, n plus 1, or let me go for B because B is on right hand side. What if I assume B to be equal to n plus 1 multiplied by n? That has to be there, right? Because they are natural numbers. It says can't be the value. Now there is one thing which you need to understand. If B is a if B here is a natural number, then I'm not saying that this will always be true. There can be irrational values for these also. But if they were anyways irrational, then we wouldn't have to, we cannot find the exact answer here. So if the question is which of the following can't be the value, can't be the value. Okay, so just thinking if it's irrational or not, but can't be the value. If we have to solve that part out of the given options, then we can definitely solve. Otherwise, if someone says what's the value, you are not always sure because you don't know that A and B, even if they are natural, even if they are natural, the entire this entire value will be rational or not. That is something we're not sure of, right? Right. Okay. So I'm assuming that this entire expression is a natural number, so that I probably will be able to find the answer. If I'm not able to find the answer still, even after that, then I'll go for none of the above. All right. So this is a pretty difficult question. Let's solve it. So I'm assuming b to be n plus 1 into n, and let me assume I. Okay. So that's all. I should not assume anything to be a. Now, if that's the case, that means this value itself becomes n plus 1. All right, n plus 1, because I have assumed that b is equal to n plus 1 multiplied by n. All right. Okay, so now you must have understood that I'm assuming that b is actually a number whose factors are consecutive natural numbers. Okay, n plus 1 becomes n plus 2. So this whole is n plus 2. Wow. So if this whole is n plus 1, that is n plus 2. Well, now, what does that mean? That means the value of a would have been n plus 2 multiplied by n plus 1. You understand that really well from the theorem I told you in the last video. So this whole is n plus 2, which was the greater multiple. So a itself would have been this. Now, can't be the value of a minus b. So if I'm assuming this is a and this is b, so a minus b will be n plus 2 multiplied by n plus 1 minus n plus 1 multiplied by n. Let me take n plus 1 common from here and here. So I'm getting n plus 2 minus n and minus n get cancelled out. So we have 2 times n plus 1. 2 times n plus 1. Guys, this will always be even. Twice of n plus 1, multiple of 2 is always even. Okay, so A as 2 and C is 4 and D is 6. B is obviously not true. So first and second can't be the value. Oh, can't be the value. So, right. So A can be the value, C can be the value, D also can be the value. Right? Is that right? No, that's not right. Why that's not right? Because I told you in the previous session itself, and that is how the question keeps on getting difficult and difficult. If this n is 0, then only I can get 2 over here, but n can never be 0, right? N was a natural number. That means I cannot even get, this 2. So only 4 and 6 are possible. That means A and B both are possible because B is odd and N can't be 0. So it will be both A and B. Can't be the value of A minus B. Hope you enjoyed this question. This is, I would say, the super difficult level of CAT. This question is specifically. Go on to the theorem 5. Thank you.